I used to eat noosa by the containers, okay? I was obsessed with noosa. However, they're technically not zabiha halal. They use kosher gelatin, which is bovine. While that may have been okay for past me, future me wants a halal version. So I'm gonna try to make it at home. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off by boiling the milk. I haven't done this in a pot in a very long time. I bought my mom an Instapot so she wouldn't have to deal... Sir? So she wouldn't have to deal with burning milk, because my job was always the dishes as a kid. Scraping the burnt milk off the bottom was the bane of my actual existence. Let's go ahead and bring this to a boil. I'm going to cover it just to speed up the process. But I'm going to leave a gap because milk will overboil. On the side, while it's boiling, I am prepping the sugar and gelatin. I did 1 tablespoon of gelatin and about a 1/4 cup of sugar, although the recipes that I'm looking at said that noosa tends to do about 1/2 cup. But for me, that's a little too much. So I'm just going to stick to the 1/4, and if anything, I can add sugar later on, and there's also the fruit filling, which will also bring in a lot of sweetness. All right, we have now hit 180 degrees, although we know this thermometer is a little wonky. That's why I went a little extra, but it's enough to where I can move on to the next step. Honestly, my family never measured. I'm going to turn off the heat. So now I'm just going to remove the skin. I usually just do this. Oh, she's fluffy skin. Now I'm just going to take a few scoops of this milk and just like pour it into here. But I just want to essentially melt the gelatin. My gelatin mixture is now completely dissolved. It's very hot now. So I'm just going to pour it into here and whisk it in. This is like my first time actually using gelatin in yogurt. Usually we don't. So this is going to kind of be like a rough guess as to whether or not this will be thick enough for noosa. After this, I am just going to let it sit here until it cools down to 105 degrees. It's probably going to take about half an hour-ish because I'm not going to put it in a cooling bath or anything like that. I'm just going to let it do its thing naturally. All right, this is up to temperature. It's at 105 degrees. So I've got my starter, which is 2 tablespoons of honey into 1/2 cup of yogurt. So the recipe that I'm following says 4 tablespoons in case you want to make it sweeter. Again, I think it's up to preference. But what isn't up to preference is the type of yogurt used for the starter. And so what I have used is this one right here. My family keeps track of which yogurts we use and which ones we have noticed work for this or not. I have no idea if this one is going to work. However, in theory it should, because it has the live and active cultures. We'll see. But it is non-fat. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop a little bit of the milk into this to temper it. I'm not sure what that means, but I am following the recipe. Bring the temperature up slowly and then also to just liquefy it so it properly melts. Now I'm just gonna slowly add it in and whisk it in, making sure it is fully combined. For the next step, it's really easy. I'm just going to go ahead and cover the pot. This, I'm going to let it do its thing for about 5 to 6-ish hours, just because I don't want to go the full 8 hours that I normally would with yogurt, because the longer you let it sit and develop, the tangier the yogurt will be. I'm also going to push it to the back so we can start the fruit preserve. Oh my god, this is so heavy. So with the yogurt being back here, you want to make sure you don't like mess with it. You just let it do its thing. Ideally, you just like don't touch it. The more you move it around, the less it will form. And let's get started on the preserves. My current order that I made for apricots gave me some of the most mushy, like look at that. It is already preserves. So I'm going to use these. I used about 4 apricots. I don't know if that is good enough. We will find out. Along with that, I've got a lemon that I kind of like ridiculously squeezed. I'm actually so excited to see how much comes. That's what I meant by like ridiculously squeezed. But I do want this to be tangy. I love it when it's like tangy and not like full on sweet. But to it, I'm still going to add in some sugar just because I do think that these are not that sweet. And I do want it to bring in sweetness since I did cut it from the yogurt. Usually you would do like, I'm pretty sure like a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar, but I don't want to do that much. So I think that's good. I am eyeballing the sugar because it is totally up to preference. I'm then just gonna put it on heat. For the preserves, you basically just cook it until it's the consistency you want. And I cubed this because I don't want to cook it fully. Like, I want there to still be chunks of apricot. I love when the fruit has little fruit clumps in it at the bottom, and that's like kind of what I'm going for. Also, if you don't like apricots, you can use basically any fruit. I do this with any fruit all the time. You can also use frozen fruits. That's usually what I go for because who wants to use fresh fruit in a preserve? I would rather eat the fresh fruit and use something not fresh. Basically almost there because these were super mushy. Strawberries and like other fruits will definitely take a lot longer to get to the preserved state. It needs to thicken up just a little bit more so that it doesn't actually make the yogurt more watery. So it turns out this turns into a complete mush. I thought it'd be a little bit more clumps since I did do like bigger chunks. So what I've done is I've sacrificed one of my good apricots and I've chopped it up. I've already turned off the heat, so I'm just adding them in after everything is done to just give more clumps because I really love the clumps. But with that, the preserves are done. The yogurt is chilling. It's got about another 5 hours to go, so I'll be back once everything is done. We're about to see if 6 hours was enough. Ooh. Okay. Let's taste test it as is. It is not tangy at all. I'm just going to put it in a container, put it in the fridge, let it chill overnight, and then I think it should solidify or like set a little bit more, and then I will strain it if needed. See, usually what we do is we leave it in the container and put that, like whatever it's cooked in is what it ends up being sat in. So I've never actually moved yogurt. Stir it first. It is this liquidy, so this was a perfect container. Okay, half gallon fits in here. I'm gonna let this chill overnight and then we'll see how thick it gets. And then if I need to strain it, I'll strain it later. So it is off to the fridge. Okay, the yogurt has sat overnight. This is what it's looking like. It's a little tilted in the container because it was not sitting properly, but it's okay. You also see I've already taken some out to taste test it, but the yogurt did set really well. Now, is it the thickness I want I was about to say Jell-O, my noosa like concoction at? No, but did it set well and is it good yogurt? Yes. So what I've got here, we're still going to use the fruit preserves, but I have strained some yogurt. So I just took this store-bought yogurt and then strained it. Technically it's strained, but you know what? Clearly not that strained. So I've been straining it like for a couple of hours. You can see that is thick. So I wanted to see if I could just use this strained yogurt with this with a bit of sugar, if that would just basically do the same job. Because I feel like it probably could, but I wasn't sure. So let's try this out. What I did is I took the yogurt out of this container, put it in here. It's a cheesecloth on top of a strainer and top of a bowl. And this will catch the whey while this sits here. The longer you strain, the thicker it will be. This is very thick. But let me go ahead and do a scoop of this. Let's add in the sugar. Now I'm just going to add a scoop of this. Looks so good. Okay, let's taste test this one. So this one's texture is right. The tanginess from the yogurt mixed with the sourness of this is making it really sour. And noosa is really sweet. I don't know about this. You saw that little notch that I took out there? I ended up straining some of it. Okay, there's a lot of liquid. The gelatin kind of sets it in a way here. Taste testing that bottom layer. That bottom layer is exactly what I'm looking for. It's very thick very creamy, and it still has that texture that I'm looking for, that like noosa creamy texture. I think I'm gonna have to strain the rest of this as well to get it to where I want my yogurt. However, if you like normal yogurt, this is where I'd go. I think this yogurt recipe that uses the gelatin doesn't like to be stirred up. Like you can see, it's like pretty solid here. Really early AMs, so I might as well eat some breakfast. Just look at how this slices. Oh, perfection. Okay, I'm only gonna do a little bit. It is so good. The texture is a little runny, but other than that, like the flavors are spot on. It's not tangy. It's got like the creamy texture. I am obsessed. It is just that good that I am willing to look past the fact that it's not the thickness that I personally like. I'm gonna absolutely be making more jams, but with that, I am off to eat my breakfast.